Good evening. There's growing pressure tonight from rail passengers and companies in the south for Southern Rail to resolve their ongoing dispute with guards. The company has said it hopes to run around 3/4 of services during the strike next Wednesday. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has the latest.
Well, the latest news tonight is that both sides, ASLEF and Southern Trains, are expected to hold peace talks next week, possibly Tuesday or Wednesday. But there are calls tonight for all sides to settle the dispute as fast as possible.
Keep the guards on the train!
News the agreement with the drivers' union hit the buffers has met with anger. More protests from passengers are on the cards, along with one from the business community. They say the 10-month dispute has cost the region's economy more than £300 million. So on Monday they'll hold a protest in Eastbourne and publish a series of great train robbery posters, with union leaders, company executives and politicians accused of robbing passengers of 20,000 cancelled trains and destroying lives. They say all sides must get together.
Businesses are laying staff off. Some have closed already, others are seriously worried about cash flow, and we want to protect people's livelihoods and jobs. Enough is enough. It really is enough now.
Meanwhile, the drivers' union ASLEF is left in an embarrassing situation. Almost 3 weeks of talks at the TUC led to an agreement with the General Secretary, which the union's members have now rejected. That could mean more strikes.
What we need now is just to get both sides around the table again. They were that close to an agreement before. The vote was really close, so there must be the makings of a settlement here. Get back around the table and just push it that extra half a mile.
A strike by RMT guards, or onboard supervisors as they're now called, is still on for next Wednesday. And Southern has said what services it plans to run next Wednesday during that strike. It says there'll be around 75% of trains running. That means 500 to 600 trains will not. They will be cancelled, so there will be severe disruption. Another hour tonight, the RMT union is saying the company is training 40 volunteers to try and help run those services. It says it doesn't believe they'll be safety trained. Of course, Southern is saying that is not the case. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Three Bridges Station.
And there's more information on our website about that strike. Just head to itv.com/Meridian. In other news tonight, 5 men have been found guilty of keeping 2 men against their will and torturing them at a flat in Brighton. The court heard how the gang stabbed one of their victims in the arm and burnt his feet with an iron. It happened at a flat in Wellington Road in October 2015. The men will be sentenced in April. A man has been jailed for 11 years for raping 2 women with learning difficulties in a graveyard in Horsham. 23-year-old Jordan Tobbert from Copthorne attacked a 35-year-old woman in April last year and a 26-year-old woman between 2013 and 2014. A passenger aeroplane landing at Southampton Airport has narrowly missed being hit by a drone. The airport said it happened on Monday. At one point, the drone was flown about 100 feet above the Flybe plane. Now, around 40 firefighters are tackling a blaze in Southampton tonight. The house on the end of a terrace is in the Bassett Green area of the city. It started at around 7 o'clock this evening. It's thought it was started by an electrical fault. Now, a couple from Brighton are so desperate to start a family, they're asking members of the public to help fund their fertility treatment. The couple no longer qualify for IVF on the NHS because of their age, so they've set up a crowdfunding site that's already raised thousands of pounds in just a few days, as Derek Johnson now explains.
Anna Lewis and Simon Knight are desperate to have a child. So desperate they're asking for donations to carry on with IVF treatment. From their home in Brighton, they've set up a crowdfunding site to raise money. They're currently going through a 3rd round of fertility treatment, but want to keep going if this attempt fails.
Normally people in my position would either have the funds to do it themselves or they would probably give up, which is not really an option for us. I don't want to give up and we don't have the funds, so that was the only option left really.
It's extremely expensive, and to set up the crowdfunding page so that if this cycle is unsuccessful then we can jump straight into the next one, because it's obviously an issue of timing as well, and being as fast as we can. as we're all ageing.
Anna, who's 40, is a childminder. She suffered a miscarriage during the treatment. 2 rounds were free on the NHS. She and Simon have since spent £16,000 to go private. Staff at this fertility clinic say crowdfunding is just the latest idea for those determined to start a family.
Our couples are remortgaging, they're borrowing, sometimes more than they can afford, so it can be a desperate struggle. We're always trying to give realistic expectation of chances of success, and we can try and break down that individual's couple's chance of success depending on past treatment and their history.
A lot of our friends, I think, felt that they didn't know how to help us and they desperately wanted to help, and this is their way of contributing to hopefully giving us a family. We're not left thinking that that's it if this doesn't work. We've got some hope that we can try again.
Health guidelines recommend that women under 40 should be allowed 3 cycles of IVF on the NHS. But those turning 40 during a cycle shouldn't be offered another one. Crowdfunding IVF is more popular in the USA, but has sparked a debate about whether it's right to ask others to pay. Derek Johnson, ITV News, Brighton.
A number of British tourists have been taken to hospital after they were thrown from a speedboat into the sea off Norway. 2 boats were returning from a sightseeing trip organised by a Surrey travel agents when one of them crashed into the harbour. Chloe Oliver is in the newsroom with the latest. Chloe, what more can you tell us?
Yes, as you say, 2 boats were returning from an organised trip when one of the vessels hit the fountain in the harbour near the town of Harstead. That's around 875 miles north of the capital Oslo. More than 20 people were on board. Witnesses reported the boats were travelling at high speeds and those on board were thrown into freezing water for around 15 minutes before they were rescued. Well, one eyewitness, a Norwegian journalist, said it was a frightening scene to watch.
Fortunately, they had survival suits and life vest on. People were screaming, they were shouting, rescue us. Yeah, it was quite a dramatic sight. I saw it from about 100 meters from where I'm standing now.
So how have the travel company responded?
Well, Stacey, in a statement, the holiday firm Ingham's, which is based in Godalming, said, "Our local team in Harstead in northern Norway has advised they're assisting 10 guests who took a boat excursion as part of their Arctic Field short break today. 6 guests and our tour leader are reported to have minor injuries. Of these 6, 4 guests and our tour leader are staying overnight in a Harstead hospital on a precautionary basis." Meanwhile, the British Foreign Office says it's in contact with the Norwegian authorities and is ready to support the British people who've been affected.
Chloe, thank you. More of the day's news now, and people living in West Sussex will pay almost 4% more for council tax from April this year. It means a Band E property will have to pay an extra £47 a year. The County Council today agreed budget plans that include £17 million of savings. And finally tonight, more than 2,500 new homes could be built in Portsmouth city centre under new plans to transform the area. This is how the new city centre north development could look on land around the former Tricorn Centre, which demolished 13 years ago. It brings to an end plans to create a major new shopping centre. Now, what does the weekend weather have in store? With all the details, here's Simon.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening, and the good news is that for the most part the weekend weather isn't looking too bad. There will be some fine sunshine on offer at times, but there'll also be the return of the mist and fog too, and it will stay mild. Temperatures well above where they should be for the time of year. Our high pressure isn't going anywhere, it's sitting pretty much right on top of us. There is a weak weather front bringing some rain overnight Saturday into Sunday, and then some more Sunday night into Monday, but because the rain happens during the night times, the daytimes aren't looking too bad. Certainly tonight It is dry, but there's mist and fog and a fair bit of cloud too. Hence, it's not too cold, frost-free with lows of around 5 or 6 degrees. But it will be a grey start to the weekend. Some clouds, some murkiness to get us going. No wind really, so it might take a while for that mist to lift in places. And the cloud will tend to break up as the day goes on. By the afternoon, some decent spells of sunshine, particularly the further east you are. That's where we'll see the highest temperatures too, 10, 11 degrees. Where the cloud lingers, still a mild 9, which isn't too bad. And then, as I say, overnight to take us into Sunday, there will be some patchy light rain around. Should have cleared by Sunday, which will be dry and fine.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
So not looking too bad, at least there is some sunshine. And that is all from us for now. We are back tomorrow at 5:15 and any updates will be on our website. But from me and from all of us here on The Late Team, thanks very much for your company. Have a great weekend. Good night.